guys, welcome to another part of our course, and in this part we're going to continue building our application. Now if you can see, we had already created this particular screen, right? And that's what we have here. I think I already previewed it here. So what we now have to create is this particular part, and then this one, and this one, and this. But the only beautiful thing is that there are several components that we have already created that we will just have to reuse here and there. So it's gonna be pretty easy. So what I'm gonna do right now is I'm going to create this one, and then I will create this one. So I think this is gonna be like the preview, the travel destination preview, and then this one is like the full description, right, or the full preview. And then this one is like when the user is trying to search for something, right? So let's go ahead and do it. Now we have this, so let's just come over here and go back to pages, and we will click on here to create a new page, and we will say let's create the page name. So here we're gonna call it trip trip location preview. Okay, trip location preview. All right, so here let's see, we don't really have, okay, well, we have this arrow here and this arrow, so well, we can do something, but I'm really thinking about the whole stuff. This particular image wouldn't cover all of this, it will just stop around here. So I mean in the real application. Now let's we can take this off, right? We take the app bar off, and what we're gonna do now is we'll go back to the widget tree, and we'll click here to add a row, and in the row we will add an icon. So I'm just gonna add an icon so that we can bring in the arrow. So here I'm gonna say left, and then that way we can have an arrow going back here. So you see we have an arrow here. I can tap, okay, actually I forgot that we can't really get details. So here I will just give it let me see. Yeah, I'm going to give the padding of 20 pixels on the right to the main column. Do I need to do that for the left hand side? Yes. Oh, sorry, right hand side. Okay, so this is it, and then here I can just go ahead and duplicate this, click on the main row, and then do this. Okay, while I go ahead and change this particular icon to heart, with the hearts being this one, and I think it's red. So let's come over here to component and see if we can get a red color. This is not gonna give us the exact color of the red, but I think somewhere around here. Where did we get the previous red? I think we got it somewhere. No, I'm not sure we got it at all. So if we click here, we can't really get it. Oh, okay, yeah, so that's the idea. Just click on that, and then it's broken, and then you can now paste it here. So I'm just pasting this here, and what we need to do is go back to the design area, and I don't know, this is supposed to be like maybe 16. Okay, 24 was okay. Yeah, so now we have that. Okay, so the next thing we need to do quickly is, I think this same image is the same image here, it's just bigger. So we have it has the favorite place, and then Kuta Beach, and then the Bali thing here too. So let's see what we can do actually. We will copy some components from somewhere else as we proceed. So I will just put the very first thing that I can see here, which says so it's a row, then I put a text, and I think it says your favorite place. All right, so it's all capital letters. Okay, so let's see, favorite place, and here It's actually very weighty, like it's thick, so I can change this to maybe extra bold. And then here I think there's an icon, so I just copy it from there and paste it here. And it's I'm clicking here to say check. It's one of these icons, so you see here, yeah, it has this other kind of design, so we might not have that one. It's a unique design, we might not have that, so we'll just use this one. And it's a yellow, so I don't really know. We have to go to the component, and then we can come over to this side, and can I get the yellow somewhere else around here? No. Okay, so I think I'll just get the yellow here from where I used to get it before. So I'm just gonna copy this and then go back to design area, and I'm just gonna paste this here. Okay, so let's give it some padding, maybe 12, and let's reduce it to 16. Okay, so I'm gonna click here on the main row, and I'll give it some padding. You see, so it's a lot of padding, so let's say 150. Okay, now we have that. The next thing we need to do is the Kuta Beach, and then this Indonesia part. So let's go back to the previous thing. So we have home, so in the home we can just copy this Kuta Beach, and then we come back to trip location preview, click on the main column and paste it. And here we can just take off this padding. Let's see what we had here. So there's a small space here, so I think that space should be like 45. All right, and this favorite place, I think it's white, so let's try to make it white. So favorite place is white, and for us to be able to see what we're doing there, we need to go ahead and come to the widget tree. Then we go to the column. I'm gonna right click on the column and wrap the widget with a container, and then I'm gonna give the width an infinite width and an infinite height. Then I'll come to background image, I'll change network to asset, and then I will click here. I'm gonna be looking for this image. Alright, so we have this. Now that I have done that, this image is already here, but it's not giving me exactly what I wanted, right? You see here, if you see here, it's not giving me what I wanted. So if I do this, no, it doesn't give me. It's a bit stretchy, yeah, but there's nothing else I can do. This is it, and what I need to do is I'm gonna right click on it again and wrap the widget with a container. We did this before, and this time around I'm going to be saying infinite width, infinite height, and then the fill color is gonna be dark. Wow, okay, it's not giving me what I want. That way it's not gonna work out. Sorry, let's undo that a bit. It's this one we're supposed to wrap. Right click on the column, wrap widget with a container, infinite width, infinite height, click on these, wrap it with black, and then we try to give it transparency. Okay, so I think 50, a unique value of 50 would just be better. Yeah, something like this. So we have the Kuta Beach, and I think this should be bigger, so let's say 35, and this is actually supposed to be smaller, so maybe 12, and let's make this bigger, 40. And here we have Bali, Indonesia. Let's go back to where we had home, and let's just copy this row and come here to trip location preview and paste it. There's no crime in reusing components. So here I can just increase this to 12, and now we're going to go ahead and say 100 people have explored. Okay, so we'll just click here, go to widget tree and add a row. In the row add, okay, I think we could have just like delete these and click on these and command D to duplicate. Delete this icon and say, and click this one now to say 100 plus. Okay, let's, most people have explored. Okay, 100 plus people have explored. Let's look at the size. I think it's pretty okay. Now we have these ones there. Now this is gonna be very interesting, right? Let's go ahead and do it. Now if you want to create that component, you're going to have to use something called a stack. If you observe here, we have this image on top of themselves. All right, so the only way you can put some widget on top of themselves is by using something, another widget called stack. And so with the stack, I can go ahead and add circle images. I don't know, should I use a circle image? I think I should use a container actually. Yeah, because circle image doesn't have a border radius, border color preferably. So these, and I think those circles are like 25. Yeah, something like that. I think so. I think they're bigger than 25. So let's say they are 30. They are 40. Okay, so 40. And I can come here and just right click and copy image address, and I can come here to background image and the network. I can just paste this here. Alright, so now that works. I just need to give the border a color. Alright, you see, now I have a border color. Now this works. I can click over here, and in fact let me click the row and do it like this. You see, good. Now what I need to do now is I'll go ahead and click on the container and duplicate it. Now when I duplicate the container, because I am doing a stack, it doesn't even respond to me. So what I'm gonna do now is, what is the size of my container? It's 40. Now the reason why it doesn't show what I've duplicated is because it's stacked on top of themselves. So for me to make it show, I have to just give it this spacing. So you see, now it shows here that I have these now. So if you observe, this is how exactly this thing is. The next one is on top of the next one. Okay, so I think it's the opposite of what I just did. So let's remove these and click on the second container and put 20. Yeah, like this. So I'm gonna click on these and duplicate it. So then click on this one and give it 40. Like that. I think like that we get it. So duplicate again and click on this and say 60. No, just 60. Okay, so that way we have, okay, I think it's like 5. Then I can click on this again, Command D to duplicate. And what I will do next is I will just go ahead and then change this to 80. Alright, so this is just perfect, right? We can later on change the details here, so we don't necessarily need to be changing these images one by one. Now when we start the backend, we can adjust that. Now we have this particular line, right? So I don't really know what, I think this was supposed to be like a swipe, you know, but I don't have the content for that. So maybe later on we can try to create that swipe. Yeah, so let me come over here to the component section and see what is possible. Like, let me see. Okay, a resort is this was okay. So I will just let's go back to the design area. So this is what we need to do. Okay, so this is a lot of text here. So what I'm gonna do simply is I'll click here, click to add a row, and then in the row I'm gonna add a text. Let me just delete the text here. Let me just delete these and copy this text and click on the row and paste this, right? So, and then here I can just lorem, let's say lorem ipsum. So I need okay, so I'm just gonna copy something random here. I don't really want to start writing a lot of things, so I just put that there, and then I do this, right, and click on the row here, and I'm gonna give it some padding. I think 50 will do. Okay, and so I think that's about it. So I'm gonna add the star here and this other icon here. So let's go work that out. I'll click on the main column and I will click to add a row, and in the row I'm going to add an icon. Let's just say icon, then I'll go ahead and search for star, and this is a good star. I think that star is going to be 16, and preferably the color is going to be the color here. So here, let's just go ahead and copy this particular color here and paste it here, and we can go ahead and click on the row and add a text that says 4.8, and it's going to be maybe bold, and it's going to be secondary white with some padding on the left. Let's say 4. I think that's about it. Then I can go ahead and go back to the design area, and then there's this icon here. So we can say, let's click here and copy this icon and paste it. I will use it for this particular, the down icons. I don't know, I can just search for down. It thinks I'm referring to download. So but here we have a down arrow, so we can use it, and it's actually white color, so I change the color to white. I'm gonna click on the row and go for this particular alignment, but now this is in the middle, it shouldn't be here, so I cut it out, Command X, and then I will right click on these and wrap these with a row. We've done this before, and then I paste this. Now we have it like this, exactly how we want it to be. I'll go ahead and say 60 here. Okay, and next thing is to have these and then the button. So let's come over here and just I think we'll just click here and add a row, and then in the row I'm just gonna copy this text and paste it here, and here it says 245.00 per person. So I think we're just gonna say here $245.00, and I will make these bigger. I think it's actually bigger, so maybe 20, and 245, but it's not bold. I think it's like medium. Okay, then we can click here and add a button. The button is going to have a yellow color, so I'll come back to component and copy these color, right, and then I will come over here and paste it in the primary fill color. The border radius will be 15. This is going to be called booking, right? So I'll come over here for the width and say 200, maybe 150. So right, we can change this to booking. All right, so booking, and the button, the color of the text is black, so I change it to black, and here I can click on these and say this way. All right, and I can now go ahead and see how to give it some extra padding. So here we can say padding here could be 150. no, not 150, maybe 50. So that's about it, but I think it's bigger than that. Here the button should be like 50. Okay, so we have that, and then we are gonna duplicate this. We duplicate these, and this is going to be per person, and we're going to try to make these to be normal and 14. Yeah, then I'll cut these out. Command X, click this, right click on it, and wrap the widget with a row and paste it. Alright, that way we have something similar to what we have here. Okay, so there you go, guys. Now we have this. Let me go ahead and give it some padding here and say maybe 30. Yeah, so then here I can just go ahead and change the color to white. Now this color is supposed to be red, but I don't know, here it's also red, I guess. So let's look for another heart. Actually, I think that heart is not it doesn't have a smooth area around it, so I think this one is okay. Okay, so this is good, this is pretty good, and this is what we are going to do next. So now this is done, and I believe that you have been able to learn a couple of things from there. So we will stop this particular part of the video here, and we'll continue in the next part. See you soon.